Oh,
We're good.
right. Live from Raleigh, North Carolina.
You are.
Yep. So we are here today to talk about the Fayetteville Ultra that Joel just recently did. I want to say it was like 2 weeks ago now, a week and a half, almost
2
2 weeks
weeks.
ago. And he got second place in the elite. This was his second Ultra at all and second Ultra elite. And the
OCR,
first
yeah.
Yep, the first one, and if anybody's done a lot of Spartan races, they'll know that the event that he placed third in the Ultra was a really tough one. That was the 2019 Mill Springs
Mhm.
Spartan Ultra, and that was, I mean, I was out there filming all day, and it was cold and rainy. I know a lot of athletes ended up getting hypothermia, and it was just an overall like a mud fest and everything. So anyway, I know that race is talked about a lot as far as like just being one of those notable like really rough events that happened mostly due to the weather because the course wasn't anything too spectacular as far as like incline or anything like that.
Yeah,
So
it was the weather. And the rain made the huge mudslides that you literally could only slide down. You couldn't even begin walking down them.
yep, and now here we are talking about the Fayetteville Ultra, which probably is like the least challenging as far as like Spartan courses can go. There wasn't really any rough terrain, a couple muddy spots.
Yeah, they
Um,
put us in some water and creeks and like, yeah, not bad terrain, not
but
horrible terrain, like challenging, but nothing
mostly flat.
particularly bad. Yeah.
Yeah, not an insane amount. Either way, I ran the beast. That was a really, really fun course. That was the first time I did a Spartan since I guess we both did that
November.
sprint. Yeah, sprint in November. So yeah, quite a while, and I
Hmm.
enjoyed it a lot. It was a lot of fun. But anyway, so let's talk about just kind of the general outline of what you did to train for this ultra.
Um, well, I trained significantly less miles for this one than I did for the one in 2019, not by choice, but because of work obligation things. So I think a week and a half or 2 weeks prior, I was gone for 3 weeks. But fortunately, I was able to run a good bit while I was there with some other people, and one of them is really really fast, so his normal running pace is a pretty hard pace for me, so I did those some runs at those paces with him, which was good training. But I probably, so the last one I devoted specifically like 17 weeks or so to, and did like 500 miles over the course of those 17 weeks for the Mill Spring in 2019. And then this one I didn't total the miles at all because I couldn't actually follow a program because I kept being forced to do other things for work. So I don't know how many miles I did, but I had to do a good bit of rucking in the months leading up to this. And as much as that's not at all what I would ever purposely do to train, I'm sure it helped out with just like lower body endurance and strength. But yeah, I don't know exactly how many miles. I'd have to go back and look up. Um, but significant less, probably like in the 300-mile ballpark from January till the race compared to 500 in less time for the other one. But this one I held up a lot better on, and I think that's partly, no, I'm sure it's a combination of running, rucking, and cycling now, as well as just some strength training and things like that. But then also some of the things I did last year with having to ruck a lot. Um, yeah.
So here's an interesting question I just thought of. If you in the shape you were for Fayetteville were to run the Mill Spring in 2019, do you think you would have gotten on the podium?
I don't know. So like this one, my split times were a lot better, but that's um like it's because of the conditions the last time. And I think partially the fueling this time I did a lot better because I worked with a dietitian for the fueling and everything and created a plan for it specifically, which I've never really done before. Not having a specific plan as far as how much, how often, exactly when, and all that. So I think the fueling was better this time, but the conditions were so much worse at Mill Spring that I don't know how to I don't know that I could compare them. So
How
like
did
I
you?
was faster here, a lot faster, but the terrain was also less hilly here and the conditions were perfect, whereas Mill Spring was not even close to perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so talk about the fueling that you talked about with your nutritionist, and what plan did you come up with for it?
So normally, so like the last one I did, I had like 2 or 3 gels with me the whole time, and that one took like 6 hours and 15 minutes, the Mill Spring one, and I had 2 little bags with some tailwind in them that I dumped in some water cups um, at different intervals along that race. And I don't honestly remember how I was attacking or how I was doing my hydration at that race either. I don't remember if I was just doing it sometimes or what. But this one was supposed to be pretty hot and ended up not being that hot because of a lot of cloud coverage and everything. At least early in the day, it
It
got hot
got
later
hot
on.
later, like
Yeah,
super hot. I felt so bad because after the race, we both sat there by the spear throw, and I mean,
yeah,
it rained for like an hour, so I'm sure that was kind of nice. Some people complained about that because, of course, it's gonna make the obstacles harder and
yeah,
maybe slippery for the terrain. But then some people were happy about it because it helped with the a million degree weather. Um, but
yeah.
yeah, so I just felt bad for a lot of those people who were like at 12 and 1 and 2 and 3 in the afternoon. Like
Yeah.
that's brutal after
It
being
was.
out there for hours and hours. And I mean, part of the race, part of the course is definitely covered. So you get
Mhm.
most of it probably, if I remember correctly,
A
you're
lot of
kind of
it would have been
in the
shaded,
woods.
but still, it was
Yeah,
significantly hotter. And then those stretches out in the fields and the open areas, you were in
yeah,
direct sun, and that would have been really hot. But it wasn't bad at
brutal.
all. I ran it. But the goal with nutrition and hydration, I looked at the map in advance and talked to him about, and he said, I told him I don't like carrying water, and he's like, "Well, if they have, because I thought they had 11, but they might only had 10. I don't know. It doesn't matter." But he's like, "If they have that many stations spread out along the course, as long as you're drinking 1 or 2 cups, since they're not all the way full, like 1 cup is like 4 or 5 ounces. So if you are usually drinking 2 of those or something like that, you're getting properly hydrated throughout, and it's a good even spread, and it doesn't take a lot of time to just pause and drink 1 or 2 of those and go." So that was the goal with hydration. So I didn't have to carry any water on me because a lot of guys had vests on with little water bottles, which probably doesn't affect their race at all negatively because it's such a small amount of weight. I just don't like carrying extra stuff if I don't have to. But the fueling um, was so I had gel packs that are Boom Energy or Boom something. I'd never heard of them until a few weeks before, but I found them online and I looked at the ingredients and they were inexpensive, so I went with them. And they're like 26 or something carbs per. It's like 100 calories in it, something like that. So the goal for this one, because I didn't have enough time to train up with them for more than this, was every 40 minutes take one. So, and then before the race, Um, so it started at 6, and he said, "All right, you need to wake up at 3 and eat like a huge meal, tons and tons of carbs." Huh?
That sounds gross.
It worked. I mean, I that especially for running 32 miles, which is the second furthest I've ever run, I felt so much better compared to any of the other long runs I've done, including ones that were shorter than that, even though I'd have like normally a camelback with tailwind in those. But I felt way better after this one than any of the long, like 20 some mile plus ones that I've ever done. So Don't know if that was all fueling or what it was, but the fueling certainly helped. So I took one every 40 minutes, as well as drank water with tailwind in it for a lot more fast carbs right before the race. So maybe like 12 ounces with tailwind mixed in or something like that. And then, yeah, so the only thing I messed up the whole time with fueling was that I brought one extra gel with me in my backpack. And I decided, I was like, well, if it's that late in the race, I'm not going to use it. So I just left it in my backpack, and I saw it in there. So I was like, okay, I'll just leave that one, and not realizing that I accidentally left two in there. So I didn't have my very last one towards the end of the race, but it ended up actually being good in a sense, because the second to last one I took, which ended up being my actual last one, the one I thought was going to be my second to last, didn't sit super well in my stomach, because I had like 5 of them by that. I think that was like my 5th one, and I've never had that many of them in an event before, or fueled like that for an event before. So it felt like if I had another one, I might puke or something. So I wouldn't have taken another one if I even had one. So, but yeah, it worked out super well.
Cool. Yeah, it sounds like it. Definitely helps to have a plan like that. On a
Mhm.
side note, I was
A
at
lot.
a running store the other day, and they have this nutrition thing that I've never seen. And it's basically for like ultra runners, you know, like mid event. So it's called, I think it's called like 350 or something like that. And that's because it's 350 calories, but like really good ingredients, you know, organic oats, and then like pineapple and all these other different fruits, and just like really good, mostly carbs. It was an enormous amount of carbs. I was like,
Should be,
wow,
yeah.
I've never seen something with 350 calories in one shot like that.
350.
Yeah, but it's like a pouch, so it's
What's
like
it called?
I don't know, type in 350 because that's
Yeah,
what it said on the package. I think
350
they
energy
basically
pouch.
huh?
Uh, I'm just looking,
Yeah.
searching it randomly. I don't know. Whatever.
But it
That's
was
cool.
also cool because for this event in Fayetteville, we had 2 of our clients run the ultra. For one of the clients, it was his first ever ultra. He was very happy to be
Yeah.
able to complete the entire thing, which that is so cool. Like because just the amount of training that goes into it, the struggle through the training process, because it's not easy. It takes a lot of dedication, takes a lot of time, takes
Mhm.
consistency, and then to go out there and, you know, push through that and do something you've never done before. That's just cool. So it's really cool to see that and be able to kind of see people achieve that goal like that.
Yeah.
And our other client, that was his second one, which doesn't make it any less of a big deal. That was his second ultra. So really awesome to see that, especially for somebody who does a lot of strength training. He likes to weight train and stuff like that. So to be able to throw in an ultra there as well is pretty awesome. So
Yeah.
it's cool to see.
That's a hard combination to keep up, to be able to train well for an ultra and also do a lot of strength training.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just trying to finish it, I think you can get away with it. If you're trying to be competitive, then you definitely have to ease back on the strength training quite a
Yes.
bit.
Yeah.
It just depends on what your goal is, but you
Yeah.
know, so it's good. Yeah, it's just your goal. So cool, awesome. Yeah, so that was your second place finish at the Fayetteville Ultra. Do you have another ultra on your calendar for this year?
Potentially. Depends on what happens with work scheduling and also with DECA. I doubt, because I'm not training specifically for it, I doubt that I'll have a time good enough a mile for the world championship, but it's the same weekend as the Mill Spring Ultra. So it just depends on work schedule and DECA. Because if I had a good enough time to go to the DECA Mile World Championship, I would do that, because it's a championship and it'd be fun.
Did you sign up for Chapel Hill?
I haven't yet, but I will. I'll do it after this. Only like a week out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Almost exact. Well, it's on Sunday, I think.
Yeah, a
So,
week from Sunday. Yeah, I'll sign up for it right after this. But yeah, so if I don't qualify that, which I'm not expecting to because I'm not training for DECA specifically, then if work gives me the opportunity, then I'll do the mill spring. But I'm going to have to put in the time in training. I'm going to continue training enough so that when it gets close enough to where I would scale up for it specifically, I'll have that time to do it. And then, but if I find out I'm not going to be able to by that point or whatever, then I'll just not. But
makes sense.
yeah.
All right, so to be determined.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully something, but yeah. And then the year after that, as long as I have, which I should have time, I want to train for specifically for all of next year, specifically for the Ultra World Championship, wherever it is then, unless they put it in some ridiculous location that I will be too much to get to or something. As far
I'm
as
sure
money and
they're
time
going to
and all that.
probably stick with Tahoe. Actually, I think, yeah, who knows? We'll see.
They switched it from the location last year in 1 year to this one, so they've been moving it around a decent amount. We'll see.
Yep.
Tahoe would be bad for me because I don't live at elevation. Either one of those locations would be bad because of the elevation, but whatever.
Well, make it happen.
All right, so what do we have coming up very quickly?
I am doing the Savage Charlotte, and then
Okay, good.
that's Saturday the something.
4th.
Saturday the 4th. Next day, I'm doing the Deca Mile and
Chapel
Deca
Hill.
Strong, and yeah, both in the same
Oh,
day.
you're doing both?
Yeah, I
I
am.
think I'm just gonna do the mile. Mostly because that's a lot of extra money.
Next weekend after that, I also have 3 events. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday is just here in, well, Cary. It's right down the street from me. Saturday is Wilmington, North Carolina, and then Sunday is Fayetteville, right down the street from you. So that'll be another full weekend. Then I have a weekend off, and then back in Cary, which is again is not far away for me. Morrisville, whatever, same thing.
Yeah, there's
That's on the
around you.
24th. Yep. So busy month this month for me, or June anyway, next month.
There is. I think I'm only doing 2 of those. I'm not doing Savage because that's next Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, whatever. We'll talk about that one later, I guess. But yeah, I'll do the Deca Mile on the 5th. I'm not doing the Wilmington one. And I don't know. I don't think I'll do the Strong on the 5th either. But then June 12th, there's, the Deca Strong. And then another Deca in June. Oh, no, I'm not doing that one. Never mind. The Deca Strong in Raleigh on the 25th.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm doing a tactical one.
Cool. All right. Well, let's end this video. It's running on pretty long. So
Too long.
you guys have any questions about ultra training and racing, just reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you.
Trio Fitness OCR training. TrioFitnessTraining.com. OCR tab on the top. Click it. There's the ultra. Don't laugh. There's the
I wasn't
ultra.
sure where you were going with that
Yeah.
since we changed.
I'm telling them where to go for the ultra
Yeah.
training.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's an ultra program there. It's all specifically designed for you to scale you up to being able to complete an ultra and do it well, not just make it.
That's right. All right, guys. We will see you later.
Yeah, we'll post videos from events in the next few weeks.
Yep. Bye.